right. Hi, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Hope you guys are all having a good night. I'm trying to make sure that this live is actually streaming where it's supposed to. I'm waiting on confirmation on that to make sure we don't need to start this over. Did it pop up yet?
It's on there.
Okay, great. I don't know. It was doing something wonky today when I set it up. It didn't put the picture up like it was supposed to, and I just want to make sure it was working. So thank you guys for joining us today. When you get in the live, say hey, and let me know that you're here and watching. We are going to go into all this information about the cruise that we have planned, and we're excited to share with you. But before we do that, I have a couple of small little housekeeping, housekeeping things. We've made just a couple of more adjustments with our series rules and what we're doing for the 125cc class, and we wanted to share that with you this evening. Let me get my screen up here for you for that. We are going to be, hang on, let me see, stop screen, here we go, share. We're going to be doing the 125cc class, and we've had so many people like reach out to Steve asking about rules for it. Can I do this? Can I build it this way? Can I put this kind of motor in it, et cetera, that we really needed to put some rules on that. We weren't really thinking that we were going to have to go that detailed into it, but you guys are ready, and you guys are trying to win that class, that whole little sideshow that we've got going on. So we felt like we needed to put some rules on it to make it safe. If you guys are here watching, say hello so we can make sure everything's working like it's supposed to tonight. I'm going to share the screen. Hey, Kyle, how you doing? I'm going to share the screen here so that we can all be on the same page about this. All right, here we go. So how you doing, Kyle? Hope you're doing good. We are going to jump right in. The first change that we're going to have, so we released the rules a little over a week ago, I think, with you guys. We need to clarify a couple of things because we've had a few of our sponsors and parks that had a couple of concerns about some things, and so we just took like one good thorough look over all of it again, and we want to we're still 2 months out today from the first race, so this is hopefully it. This is all we're going to change, unless it's something that comes up for like a safety thing or whatever, but this is it about the classes.
Well, there's been a lot of things that's changed recently, and we wanted to kind of broaden the number of people that could participate and make it where we felt like these were allowing everybody to come based on the tire sizes and everything.
Yep. So the biggest change that we've got right here is the first change is the kids of the deep class, the 13 and under 700cc and less class. It's still going to be 700cc and less. It's still going to be 32-inch tire and below, but it is going to be a single cylinder class.
It's for kids.
It's for kids. If you're enough said about that. I mean, if you have something, a twin cylinder or something that you feel like could race, then you can race that in a small tire in a class.
It was just too hard to manage tech check for a twin cylinder class, and it was just for the kids.
Yeah, there's a lot of all the other.
I had way too many questions about that.
All the other requirements as far as the kids stuff, as far as the naturally aspirated, no lift, no turbo, no nitrous, no portals, no supercharger, no frame stretch, rear diff must be a direct replacement in the same location as the OEM diff, no motor work, pump gas, all of those things still apply. But like we said, as we're getting into a bigger engine and a twin engine, then it gets to be a little bit more complicated. So we want to keep it simple. It's going to be 700cc and less, single cylinder, but that means that you can still have you could still run a P5, correct?
Anything that's a single cylinder, so your P500 side by sides, your mules, stuff like that, that's a single cylinder 700.
Yep. So single cylinder 700cc and under, 32-inch tire and below for the kids. The other change as it pertains to the series is for the small tire NA class. We're going to increase that to be up to a 35-inch tire as it measures, because that is, we increase literally every other class. We increased the women's class, the small open class. We changed the medium. We transitioned medium into big tire and increased that. So we and we actually even raised up the kids of the deep because it was 30 last year. Now it's 32 for that single cylinder. So it just made sense that we went ahead and increased that small tire as well. So we're going to be 35-inch and below on the small tire.
And we're going to be thumping this out several times. So if somebody it's not on live tonight. We don't want them not to get this information. Please make sure you let everybody know.
Scott Clemens says you need to make the kids class 750 and under where King quads and Yamahas can run single cylinder.
That would be a V twin. We don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's talking about the Suzuki King quads.
I gotcha. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's got to be a cutoff somewhere. I get it, but
yeah. And I mean, what we were seeing with a lot of those kids in that single cylinder class is that a lot of the same kids were racing single cylinder as the V twin. They were just running different machines, and so that was great and everything. But we're trying to keep that kids be about
running 3 kids
right
with the same exact ATVs and side by sides.
So we just want to keep that to be the kids class when they're ready to graduate, or you feel like that they are able to run something larger than that and that they are capable of doing that, then let them run in the NA class and start to get their feet wet in that class, because
they'll be able to race. If they're doing a single cylinder class, most of the time they'll be able to jump into that Honda class if they're single cylinder.
Yeah.
If they're not in the Honda class because they're racing like a Can-Am or Outlander or something like that, then that's the next class up from the kids class. So
yeah, so that's what we're going to do, just to try to keep it a little bit more for the kids and everything on that class. So small tire NA is going to be 35-inch and below, and then the kids of the deep class is going to be 700cc, 32-inch and below, single cylinder only.
So a lot of the people that have been racing in other series, they'll give them an opportunity to also race that same 35-inch. Also, a lot of side-by-sides now come factory with tires that are bigger than 32-inch already. So it just made sense to go up in the size for that naturally aspirated class.
Scott says King Quad 750 is a single cylinder.
Yeah, I know. That's why I was saying the Suzuki King Quad is.
Oh. Okay. All right. So that's where we're at with that. And then the other one that we're going to share is, if you go to the website now, there is a tab that is called Muddy Cup Nationals. And that is the event that we're talking about doing at a lot of the King of the Deep races. It's not necessarily going to be every single one. We'll let you know in advance if it's going to have the Muddy Cup Nationals at it. But most of them, I think, will. And we've got some specific equipment regulations for that class, because we've had so many people reach out and love the enthusiasm and from you all. But we have to put a little bit of some parameters on that, because the idea was born from thinking that we were going to take those mini mutter machines, the 125cc and under machines that have to have no lift, no stretch, everything I just said a while ago, and use those for the adults to race round laps around the bounty hole. So we're still, that's where this is coming from. And now we've got people who don't even have kids that are going to be bringing machines or building machines for this. So we wanted to give you some clear rules. Many of those are the same as, hang on, I've got somebody from a park calling me. Hold on, let me see. All right. Many of those are the same as, most of them are the same as what we have for the mini mutters and for the kids of the deep. But here we go. So it's going to be up to 125cc ATV only. It can be a 4-wheeler or a 3-wheeler. Tires must be 25 inches or less with a width of 12 inches or less. And then naturally aspirated engines only. Must have OEM frame, no stretch, no modification of any kind. Must have OEM motor, no motor work is allowed. 2 strokes or 4 strokes are allowed. No portals. Oh, that was duplicated. I don't know why it says that twice. No portals. Must be OEM differentials in the same location as the OEM def. And then pump gas only, 93 octane or less. And then you have to wear a helmet. So let me see. Should have said.
I will be testing the gas, and I will be looking at the motors, making sure they're not built the motors or bored out, put a big bore kit on. So,
and I don't know why it's not on here. I'll fix this, you guys, but it also should say that like duplicated or cut out what I had right there. So it should say no nitrous, no portals, no supercharger. So same thing as the kids class. I'll fix that in here right after we get off the live. So up to 125cc ATV, 3-wheeler or 4-wheeler is fine. Tires 25-inch or less tall with a width of 12 inches or less wide. Naturally aspirated only. OEM frame, no stretch, no modifications. OEM motor, no motor work allowed. 2-stroke or 4-stroke is allowed. No portals, no nitrous, no supercharger. Must be an OEM diff in the same location as the OE. What is that? Must be OEM differential in the same location as OEM diff. Okay. And then pump gas only, 93 octane or less. And then of course you've got to wear a helmet. Randy says, can Cohen race in the Muddy Cup class? Are we going to have a minimum age on that class, Steve?
We hadn't thought about that, but how old is Cohen, Randy?
How old is Cohen?
I think we have to make a.
And then let's see.
Yeah, I don't know about a age minimum. I'll have to wait and see.
Let us think about that. He's 11.
We don't have any minimums on our other classes, so we really leave it up to everybody.
Well, we have a minimum on the big tire or the unlimited ATVs because the machines are so big and because we're in a hole with water and everything.
We're looking at 125cc bikes, and I don't see why we wouldn't be able to.
I'm thinking don't take this for word. It's something we need to discuss and then we'll announce it. But if we say the mini mudders is 8 and under, then why don't we make Muddy Cup 9 and up?
Yeah, I would say something like that, guys. I would say 9 or 10 and would be the cutoff. I'm not gonna let the little kids race with the big adults. I just don't
we don't want you guys running over these babies, okay? All right. Daryl Squatch says now you're gonna have me looking for an ATV.
Let's do it.
And he said
everybody's gonna sign a waiver anyway.
Yes.
But the main thing is I just I don't want to see the kids out there racing against an adults at that age. Now 9 and up, maybe that'll be entertaining, but we're going to be racing some areas that, I don't want to see one of these kids run into one of the other holes.
Yeah. We want to make sure that if we're racing around the bounty hole that nobody gets, goes off course, especially some of these younger ones and stuff. So give us a day or two to think about that. And we'll get that out hopefully by the end of the week.
May or may not. We'll see.
We'll think about that. Okay. So that's all we have for the updates on that. I'll get a post up that kind of highlights and reiterates that as well. So we've had the small tire NA goes up to a 35-inch tire now. The Kids of the Deep class is going to be single cylinder, 700 cc or less, 32-inch tire or below. And then the Muddy Cup Nationals, all the requirements for that are on the website now as well.
Muddy Cup Nationals, y'all. It's going to be great.
And with that being said, we're actively working on re-signing all of our contracts with our sponsors, taking in new sponsors. If we're looking for some sponsors for some other extra things like the Muddy Cup Nationals, like the women's class. So if you are looking for a way to get involved and maybe you feel like, you don't necessarily know if you can handle the commitment of the whole series. We still do individual events. We still do smaller little things like these, like the Muddy Cup and stuff like that. So if you want to support us or know somebody that may want to support us, please have them reach out to us and we will see what we can do to make it work for everybody. Okay. So with all that being said, are you guys ready? Who's going to go on this cruise with us? Is anybody in here? Look, I see a lot of racers. I hope some of you guys will go with us on this cruise because we're going to talk about all that right here.
There's already a lot of people that are going to go
right now. Randy says, hey, so the Honda classes are Hondas only, correct? Yes.
Yeah, that's right.
They are Honda only classes. Brought to you by Vessel Power Sports. So, all right, you guys, we're going to dive right in to talking about the cruise here. And then hopefully we can kind of get all the information out there and then people can refer back to this. So if you were here for the cruise information, thanks for sticking through the first little bit. We are talking about, this is going to be November 11th through 17th this year on the Norwegian Cruise Line. And it's going to be on the ship called the Getaway. It's the inaugural King of the Deep cruise, the Deep at Sea cruise. And we are super, super excited about that. I'm going to show you real quick where we're going. We're going to be sailing out of Port Canaveral, which is Orlando. We're going to be hitting Great Stirrup Cay, which is Norwegian's private island. We were just next door to that island this past weekend, and we could see them doing all kinds of stuff over there. So we're excited about some of the new stuff they're going to be opening up this summer before we get there later this year. And then we're going to Puerto Plata in the Dominican Republic, and then we're headed back after that. So, or maybe it goes to Puerto Plata first, and then either way, whatever. Here, I have it. We're going to Puerto Plata first, and then Great Stirrup, the private island after that. So here's the itinerary. You're going to leave on the 11th. Then you're going to have one full day at sea, which I think is just great because it gives you like a chance to get to know the ship and explore and do all the things. And then day 3, we're in Puerto Plata in the Dominican Republic. We're there for like 8.5 hours. That's like perfect. We're going to plan some really fun excursions that you can do if you want to. You don't have to. Something related to the off-road world so that we can go all and do this and have a good time together. And then the next day you're at sea again, which is really nice because you kind of have a day to sort of like recover. If you want to go explore and do a lot of walking, you can do that on one of your port days and then come back and sort of have a day to like to just be lazy and then the next day, day 5, will be the day at the private islands, Great Stirrup Cay. And then day 6, we all have to go back to reality and start cooking our own food and making our own beds again. Joe says, could there be a rental bounty hole in Puerto Plata? Listen, I've got plans to start reaching out to some people and seeing what we could do. I'm going to be like, if we get a big group, how many people do we need for you to like let us all rent ATVs and then go see who can find a big mud hole to go through? If we can make it happen.
The insurance. Make sure you get the insurance.
Yeah, make sure you get the insurance for sure, Joe. Let's see. Need an affirm option on the cruise. Be hard. Listen, we're going to go over all that, Kyle. I'm going to go over it because I know a lot of people look at that and they think like, oh my gosh, that's a lot of money. But when you break it down, and I'm going to tell you everything that's included here in just a minute and like what the payment terms and options are and all of that kind of stuff, we're going to do that. My ultimate goal is like, let's make this so good this year that then we can like maybe roll something in next year where we can start to incorporate this as part of, I don't know, Steve's looking at me weird. Maybe we can incorporate part of a cruise as part of some winnings or something. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah,
he's like,
yeah. Free cruise to the King of the Deep.
Yeah. So, all right. I've got a special guest here with us tonight. This is John, my new friend, John. He is a travel agent extraordinaire and he does a lot. I think he spends more time on a ship than off the ship. So he's handling all of this for us. Not only is he going to basically be our point of contact with every single question that you can think of, but he's going to book everything, take care of everything for us. And then he's actually going on the cruise with us as well. So he'll be there to answer like anything that we need all the way up to, and even on the cruise. If we have any issues, he'll help us, which is great. So I'm bringing him on right now. You guys be nice to him. Okay. This is John.
Good evening, everyone.
Hi, John. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. We're doing good. So I wanted to just have you on, I already talked to you about this. I wanted to have an opportunity for us to kind of go through the step-by-step, the process for how they can get more information about this, how they can kind of set up a call with you and at least be familiar with you, kind of already have a face to put with the name, know who they're talking to, know that you're not some scam person who's going to run off with their money, that you're going on a trip with us, and just sort of the process in walking through and then kind of breaking down like all of the payments and stuff like that for them. Okay. So first of all, let me show what the screen, we've shared the link for this for you guys already on our like Facebook, on our social media, but it's called, John is from A Simple Life Travel is his travel agency business name. So there's a website and it's called asimplelifetravel.com/King of the Deep. And we've already posted that link. So when you click on that, then you're able to go in and it'll take you to the screen you see right here. And on this initial part of the screen, there's lots of information about the whole trip as you scroll down. But at the very top part, there's something that says ready to book or schedule a call. So if you clicked on, like, if you're like, hey, let me find out more about this, I have questions that they didn't answer on the live, you can click on schedule a call and it's going to come up, and my computer, I think it's thinking, but it'll come up with where you put information in and you're able to book a phone call with John to where you can go over everything. He's already had a couple people reach out to him that he's done that with. And they were able to kind of, my thing disappeared. They were able to go over some information, and he was able to answer some questions for them. Is that right, John?
That is correct. Yes.
Okay.
And again, either one of those, or my phone number is also at the top, and I am a phone call away for anybody that has any questions.
Perfect. Okay. And then once you like get all that, or if you're like, I'm good, I understand how that works, I'm ready to book, then you'll just click on ready to book and it'll walk you through all that as well. So this is basically like the place where you go to take whatever step you're ready to take next. And let's see, hold on, I'm catching up. Chad says ready for that cruise. And let's see, I'm going to have to put that cruise payment under y'all are silly. All right. So when you click on that, we're going to go through here and I'm going to scroll down real quick, but I've got some other stuff. It just basically talks about join us for a Caribbean adventure. It's a 5-day getaway from Port Canaveral, Orlando, Florida. And then you're going to spend 1 day at sea before you visit Puerto Plata. Then you can, tells you all the things you can do here, has some words that I probably can't pronounce because my Spanish is not that great. After you visit Puerto Plata, enjoy a sea day, and then you're going to arrive at Great Stirrup Cay, which is Norwegian's private island. And then you go back home. So it's kind of some of the same stuff right here. Let's talk real quick about the actual cost, because I know that's something that most people are going to want to know right out of the gate. So let's put this up here, which is the same information you can find in the link that I just shared with you, which is what we've shared on our website. But here is the package for an inside stateroom, an ocean view stateroom, and a balcony stateroom. Now, to be clear, there are other kinds of rooms. There's suites. There are I didn't even know this until today. There's even like solo rooms you can book if you don't have a significant other or friend that you want to share a room with. So there are other options as well. If you want to book something that's outside of these, then all you have to do is talk to John and he'll get you booked on whatever it is that you want to do. It's important that you book through him though. That way we're all grouped together and we're able to all be considered into the same group. So these right here, these are the rooms that we have already booked or have a hold on a block of rooms for each of these categories. And these prices that John has secured for us are the guaranteed prices for these rooms until we run out of the ones, because we have a limited number of each one. So when we run out of the inside ones at this price, we can get more, but it'll be whatever the price is at that time. And like anything else, the closer you get to it, like an airline ticket or anything else, the price does increase. So we try to go ahead and block what we could for right now. And, if you were interested in doing it, you can go ahead and make a deposit and then we'll go from there. So let's, hey, Scarlett, how are you doing? I'm glad you jumped down here so we can talk all about this tonight, because I know you were interested in coming on this trip. Okay. So, and you correct me along the way, John, if I'm wrong about any of this, but basically this gives you the breakdown as for each room type. So this is based on a double occupancy. This price that you're seeing is the total price for 2 people. Correct, John?
Correct.
So if you and your spouse or you and your best friend or whatever want to go, this is the price for both of you. And, if you're not, whatever, you and your buddy, you have it basically is your responsibility. So, but this is the price for a double occupancy room. So if you wanted to go for an interior stateroom, which I personally I think I get the best sleep in those because they're super dark and you don't really, some people spend more time in their room than others, but for me, I'm not in there that much. So I don't mind an interior room at all. But that is the least expensive option. So for 2 people is an interior room. It's going to be $11.57 is like your rate. Then you have your taxes and your port fees. So that makes your total $13.97.10 for 2 people. And then that doesn't include your optional travel insurance or your gratuities that you're going to pay for as well. So if you want to get the travel insurance, you add that into it. And if you want to get the gratuities, if you want to go ahead and prepay your gratuities, then you would add those in and you can go ahead and pay all that up front. A lot of people like to do that and pay everything from the very beginning so that they don't have a bill at the end. Personally, when I book a cruise, I like to not pay the gratuities when I'm paying the price of the cruise, because I feel like it hurts my pocketbook a little bit less, because you have to pay for the cruise like 120 days before you actually go. And then the gratuities, because that's only a couple $100, I'll pay that when I actually go on the cruise, because you'll put a card on file and then they just charge that at the end of the cruise, along with any other ancillary expenses. Like if you were to go shopping in one of the stores and you didn't tell your husband and you just say, charge it to the room, like those kinds of things, don't tell. And so then they run all that at the end of the cruise and take care of all that for you. So you're looking at $13.97 and change for 2 people in the cheapest room. If you want to do the ocean view, it's $14.80. If you do the balcony, it's $17.86. You add in the insurance is $150 or $154 for the more expensive one. The insurance definitely, John, and along with anybody ever, would recommend it, but it's not required. But what does that cover, John?
The biggest thing on the insurance is most people think their medical insurance covers them when they go out of the country, but it doesn't. So this covers, the Norwegian carrier insurance is about $50,000 worth of medical. If for any reason you were to have to cancel your cruise because of a medical issue, or you were in an accident on the way down to the pier, to the port, the travel insurance would protect your cruise up to 100% of the cost.
Okay.
It would reimburse for any medical issues you have while you're out of the country. And then the other thing that is really good with Norwegian carrier insurance is they have a 90% cancel for any reason. So if 2 days before the cruise, you just decided you wasn't going, or you couldn't go because of work, or any reason that really wasn't covered, by the insurance, as far as a covered reason, the cancel for any reason will give you 90% protection as a future cruise credit. So it insurance in one form or another, whether through the cruise line or third party, just really protects you, because if you go, you especially doing ATV stuff or anything, you trip and break your leg going off the cruise, you're out $15,000.
I got you. That's right. So what you're saying is if we're able to do a bounty hole in the Dominican Republic and somebody gets hurt, they need to make sure they have this.
Look, I would not want to cover that bill without insurance, and I would almost promise you your medical insurance won't touch it once you go out of the country.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So that's good to know. So you can add that onto it. The other items on here, the kind of the middle section, are the amenity package A, which would be like your gratuities on your unlimited beverage package, or the second, which is $285 for 2 people. So that's not $285 per person. That's $285 for you and your roommate. Now both of you have to get it. And we're talking about the alcohol package here. Unlimited drinks, you guys. Unlimited means unlimited. I mean, unless you're at in such a way that they would, that they have to cut you off. But I'll tell you that Steve yesterday he had an unlimited package, and I'm telling you, it's unlimited. Okay. So that's your unlimited, like, alcoholic beverage package. And that is for 2 people for 5 days. So basically it's like $28.50 a day, which I'll tell you that, like, the cruise that we just went on, we went on Royal Caribbean, and we just got back a couple days ago, and we were on that one for 4 nights for 2 people. And with taxes and everything, the drink package was $622. And that was on sale, like 35% off or 25% off or something like that. So that is, if you're wondering why we chose Norwegian over any other cruise line, I'll tell you, Carnival has a 15 drink limit per day. Royal doesn't have a drink limit, but it's significantly more pricey for the drink package than Norwegian. And we just, after talking to John, we felt like that for that package, it has the best bang for the buck. And I know I realize that not everybody drinks, but maybe your roommate does. And the fact that they make you purchase it for both people in the room, it's just a better deal. I mean, for $285 for 2 people for 5 days compared to $622 on sale for 2 people for 4 days. I mean, there's no question there. And then your drink package covers like your sodas, your energy drinks, sports drinks, juices, refreshers, things like that as well. So even beyond, I mean, like, I don't even know that you could get the soda package on Royal Caribbean for the same price as you can get the alcohol package on Norwegian. So it's a no-brainer. Okay. So if you wanted to do that, basically, if you were to add in, if you're going to do the interior stateroom, the $13.97, add in the drink package, add in the specialty dining is $80. It's basically $40 per person for the trip. And the specialty dining allows you meals in 2 restaurants. Is that right, John?
Right. It's 2 meals in 2 of the specialty restaurants, steakhouse, hibachi, but 2 each.
Yeah. Okay. So you could plan on your 5-day or your 5-night trip. You could do a lunch or a dinner on 2 different occasions in one of the specialty restaurants. So, like, that was an option on the cruise we just went on as well, to do a specialty dining. We did not take advantage of that because it was our first time on Royal Caribbean, and we just were like, we feel like there's going to be enough options, and there are plenty of options to eat for already what you're paying for your cruise fare. So it's not a necessity, but I would say, like, I looked at the specialty menu, the menus of those dining options on the cruise we were just on. And I mean, for $40 for 2 meals, like if you want to do it, I think it would be really cool, but you don't have to. So what you're looking at, if you wanted to do the interior room, is $13.97 plus the $285 for the beverage package if you wanted, the $80 for the dining if you wanted, the $200 gratuities, and then the $150 for the insurance. So if you got everything all together, your all in would be $21.12 for 2 people for 5 days. So that's basically like, I mean, that's less than $200 a day for you to eat, drink, your hotel, basically, because your room, everything all together. So, I mean, I think that's not bad at all. And if you wanted to save money, like I said, you can take off the $200 gratuities and pay that when you actually go on the trip. And then you also don't have to do the drink package. You don't have to do the dining. That would bring you down to, and you don't have to do the insurance. So if you didn't do the insurance, you do the $13.97, pay the $200 gratuity later, and you're still like, that's a really great deal. So,
and Kay, if I may, the one of the things with group space, when we lock in all this group space, all of these cabins come with a bonus amenity, which basically the best value there's $100 per cabin credit. Or on amenity package B, there's an option of another 100. But because it's group space, you have to pick either package A or package B. So you can't kind of pick and choose part of package A or part of package B. So it's kind of one or the other. If you're not a drinker, package B makes perfect sense, and you get $200 worth of gratuity or $200 worth of cabin credit. If you are a drinker, then package A kind of takes care of everything.
Right. So, and then this is in the same thing. When you go through that actual web page and you scroll down, all of these are just screenshots of what's in there for you guys to look at in more detail. But basically what he's saying, so if you do the interior cabin, then you get to pick 2 amenities from package A, which is on the screen right here, or package B. So the package A amenities are unlimited open bar, excursion credit, specialty dining, Wi-Fi package. And then package B is 10 photo prints, excursion credit, Wi-Fi credits, Wi-Fi package, onboard credit. And then it says you plus select 1 bonus amenity, which is the $100 onboard credit, which is what you're talking about is the best bang for your buck.
It is, in my opinion, unless you want to do a vow renewal while you're on board. That is a better value. But
hey, if anybody wants to do a vow renewal, I'll make Steve get ordained.
There you go.
Okay, so, and then if you do the ocean view or the balcony or any of the suites or anything like that, then you get to pick, you'll get all 4 amenities from A or B plus the $100 onboard credit.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Perfect. And then you guys, all that information is in there. So if you've got any questions, you can comment on here. You can go through and you can call John, email him, ask for the phone call. The things that are included, obviously your accommodations for 5 nights, 6 days, all of the complimentary dining options are included. All the shows and stuff on the ship are included. You're only if you do the, what does it say? 2 balcony, 2 inside, specialty dining. The specialty dining would be included for 2 meals if you choose that package or if you choose that add-on. Same thing with the drink. If you're going to do the drink package, all your drinks are included. You get the $100 cabin credit. You guys can read through this. I mean, I don't need to go through all that with you, but another thing is that your meals on the private island, the second port stop, they're all included, if I'm understanding right. Correct, John?
That is correct.
Yeah. So like when we went just this weekend and we went to Coco Cay with Royal Caribbean, which is right next to the island, to the Great Stirrup Cay. But when we went to Coco Cay, like all the food was already included. So we didn't have to like pay out of pocket for anything else that you ate that day. And they're working on a bunch of things at Great Stirrup Cay already that they've got under construction. Like John said, they've got a water park that's supposed to be opening this summer. They've got another pool that's supposed to be opening. I know you guys can't see this tiny little screen, but this gives you an idea of like a map of the island. You can see that there's like, they've got different like little designated beach areas and pool areas and stuff like that. So that day is just like a big party beach day, basically. And you can go out there and there's plenty to do that doesn't cost additional money. Now I think there might be some things that you could do that do cost additional money. Like at KOTD, they had a separate, like a separate adults beach club that you could pay to get into.
Yep.
Then they had all kinds of island, like they had all kinds of pools and little beach areas and lagoons that were free and included anyway too. So we didn't pay to do anything extra at that island. So
okay. And they're the same way. They just opened up a 28,000 square foot pool. The water park that's supposed to open this summer has got 19 water slides, cliff jumps, and a river.
That's
and
awesome.
there's zip lines that you pay for and a couple of extra things, but you can have a blast absolutely for free on the island.
Yeah. Yeah. And one thing we didn't talk about yet is that right now they've got, like, if you've got kids, and I'm not bringing my kids because we're there to work. And also I just, anyways, we're not bringing our kids on this one, but if you want to bring your kids and make it more of a family vacation, I'm sure that the ship has like the teen club, the kids club, so they don't have to be with you every single minute. You can still do your thing and let them have their fun and do their thing. And the good thing about right now is they've got that promo where your third and fourth guests, their cruise fare is waived. So like if you've got kids with you in the room, you would still have to pay their taxes and port charges, but you wouldn't have to pay their actual like cruise fare for them. So that would, like, if you have your kids, it's not going to be double the price of two people. It'll be a little bit more for their port fees, but not double.
Correct. It would be the $240 for the port fees and taxes, and also the $20 a day service charge, which you could pay on board. But that's basically it for the third and fourth person.
Perfect. So that makes it, a good value if you want to turn it into a family thing. If you've got teenagers, like I'm thinking about, like, I don't know, like the Wits or somebody, if you want to come and bring Mason with you, you can still all get a room and do that. We didn't lock in a guaranteed price for anything like that. So if you want to do that, you can still do it with us. Just tell John, this is what we want to do. And the sooner the better to go ahead and sort of book that, because you're going to get the lowest price right now. And then the way that works when you're ready to do this and pull the trigger on it is that I'm excited. Scarlett, did other people say that they wanted to come and attend too? I hope so. What you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and reserve your spot with John. He'll get you all set up, and then you'll make your $100 per person deposit, which is what's going to sort of secure your booking. Correct. And then you'll have until July 14th to pay the remaining balance. And like I said, you don't have to.
Too early. We're going to back that up by about a day or two.
Okay.
Just to make sure that there's no last minute hiccups. Because you don't want to go to the very last day and have your credit card decide that they thought it was a fraudulent charge and, block you on your last day.
Sure. So we're going to say, like, let's just plan on July 1st, July 5th as your deadline to go ahead and pay that, which that's still like almost 6 months away, you guys. So you're going to be able to stretch out your payments. And if it helps you, like I said, you can postpone paying your gratuities at the end of the cruise and just plan to pay that, $200 or, it's $100 per person. So if you've got the kid, if you bring kids, it'll be $300, $400, whatever, but $100 per person at the end of the cruise, which is what I always do, because I just feel like it hurts less it's a couple hundred I don't have to pay up front. So but yeah, that's kind of what we had. I don't know if you guys have any questions. I know I was talking in detail about it with a couple of people today. But we just kind of, I wanted to show you and sort of break that down, because when you look at it, you're like, oh, that's a lot. But then there's so many things in there that you don't have to do. You don't have to do the drink package or the dining, and that'll save you over $300 for the room right there. And when you consider what all is included, all the food, all the entertainment, I mean, you're going on a trip for less than, for like $100 and something per day per person to include all your food and your drinks. And I know some of y'all will have bar tab of over $100, of close to $200, just, so not on vacation, just regularly. So we're excited about it. We're going to be planning a bunch of activities that we're going to be doing as King of the Deep, and they're optional. You don't have to do them. You can participate. You don't have to. You can kind of do what you want to do on your own. And you can join in with us for bar crawls and slot pools and whatever whatever we're going to announce that we're doing at your own leisure. But we are going to be doing some fun stuff together. We're still kind of working out the details of exactly what we're going to be planning for all that. And it's going to be a really, really fun time. Scarlett asked, can you make payments or do you have to pay in full?
Norwegian has a flex pay cruise financing. Before I give anybody the details of that, I actually need to look into it a little further because I haven't used it with clients before. But basically what happens is when we reserve your cabin, it's $100 per person deposit. You can pay on it as much as you want, or, anytime you want up until that 120 days. And then on July 14th or 13th, the final balance has to be paid by that date. You can pay anytime that you wanted to by just, saying you wanted to make a payment towards it. That can be done anytime. And I will get some information on the Flex Pay program and get that back out through Katie and Steve. And so we can make sure we post that on the site for anybody that is interested in that.
Perfect.
But it's not you got to pay everything. When you book this cruise, you don't have to pay anything except the deposit up until the final payment date, which by then it's got to be paid off, but you can do it in payments before or one lump sum or anything you want to do.
Yeah, that's perfect. Chad says, we're going in the morning on our cruise, on the same cruise in the morning. Are you talking about tomorrow, Chad? Are you going tomorrow on a cruise, on this same exact cruise? Message us, because if so, listen, if you're going on the same cruise on the same ship, I got stuff I need you to get pictures of for me. I'm excited. So, and then Dan says, I've got no roomie. Look, you guys, they do have, I don't know if you heard me in the beginning, they have options. If you are like a lot of cruises, if you're booking by yourself, depending on the ship, they want you to still book the room for two, and they charge you, but this, they don't charge you double, but you have to pay for the, you have to pay the double occupancy, cruise fare, but you would only pay the port fees and the taxes for the one person, is how a lot of them do. But this cruise has some options, some good options if you're just a solo traveler, that I noticed. And so I asked John about that, and he gave me some pricing on that today. Let me see here. They have a room called the, here we go. They have a solo studio, which it still has, it's not a single bed. It's still like a regular size bed. I was looking at pictures of it earlier, and it basically is $12.58 with a gratuity fee of, with an insurance amount of $86.90. And that $12.58 would include, if I'm right, John, it includes your beverage package cost and your specialty dinners.
And the insurance is included in that too, right?
And the insurance. The only thing that doesn't include is your $100 gratuity that you'd have to pay at the end of the cruise.
Correct.
Okay. So that's not bad.
I did break out the insurance just so if somebody decided they didn't want it, you would see how much would come off of that.
That's right. Okay. So if you were going to do that one, for example, that's that studio room for a single solo traveler, it's the $12.58. If you didn't want to do the drink package for one person is $142.50. If you didn't want to do the specialty dining, that's $40 you take off. So you're down to $10.75 without the drink package or the dining, the specialty dining. And then that includes your $86 insurance. And so that if you didn't want to pay the insurance, which we don't recommend, it would be $988 for you for a solo room. You don't have to share with anybody else. And then you'd have to pay your $100 gratuity at the end of the cruise. So there's options if you're solo traveling, or, if you want to find a buddy, somebody else who's solo traveling, then you can do that too. Okay. So she says, does the beverage package cover only alcohol? Is there a different package for people that don't drink alcohol?
There's a soda pack. The beverage package covers alcohol, wine, beer, sodas, mocktails,
energy drinks.
Some energy drinks. They've got some that aren't included in that, but energy drinks, various juices and things like that. There is a separate soda package that's non-alcoholic. That is, I want to say it's about $12.50 per day per person. And it just includes sodas, and Norwegian does Coca-Cola products. So think Coke, Diet Coke, and no Pepsi. My wife is a Pepsi fan, so that's an ongoing battle. Or
I'm
Diet
a Coke
Pepsi
fan, so I'm all right
right.
with
So
that.
you're good to go.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but if you've got one adult in the room that wants to get the unlimited beverage, the alcohol package,
Both of them have both adults, both people over 21 have to have that package.
yeah.
And coffee, there's Starbucks on board, but Starbucks is not included in the normal beverage package.
Okay.
It just charges to your room, and the price is actually about the same as it is at Starbucks at home.
Okay. Okay. So yeah, so no Mountain Dew. I guess not. But yeah, I mean, and I'll tell you, like, I didn't even, this cruise that we just had, our drink package covered the sodas and stuff too. I don't think I ever even drank a single soda, but I know Steve had he had like Crown and Coke or whatever, Jack and Coke or whatever, but that would be included either way. So, okay. Is it in the drinks package, the one that covers everything? I don't know what you're asking. I'm not clear what you're asking, Scarlett. The drink package is going to the unlimited drink package that is $142.50 per person or $285 per cabin, because you have to buy it for both of the adults, whether one's a drinker or not, is going to cover everything except for your coffee. It's going to cover coffee, like the regular coffee that you can get in like the dining rooms and the buffets and stuff like that, but it's not going to cover like your specialty coffee from Starbucks.
Right. There's a Starbucks on board, and it does not cover Starbucks.
Yeah.
Now they do have they have a separate Starbucks package, but there is an upgrade to the free at sea package that we'll put some details out on later. That covers it. It goes up on the pricing, but it covers call it the top shelf liquors, includes Starbucks and service charges and some other stuff, but most everything is covered other than Starbucks, and I just charge that to the cabin.
She said I'm out, and she said I'm back in. Yeah, and you can still get like you could get, this is what I said, I don't know if you were on there earlier, Scarlett, but we just paid $622, including taxes and stuff, $622 for me and Steve to have the drink package on Royal Caribbean for 4 days. And then on this Norwegian trip, it's $285 for 2 people to have the drink package for 5 days. So it is significantly cheaper per day per person than what we paid. And we got ours on sale, right. So like, I mean, you're paying for 2 people for less than what one person cost for less days on the other cruise line. So even if you decided that you were just going to pay for your like Starbucks coffees or your specialty coffees a la carte, it's still going to be like cheaper than other cruise lines would be.
And if you pick the bonus, the $100 cabin credit bonus, there's $100 on your account out of the gates to spend on anything you want.
So, listen, Scarlett, can you get $100 in coffee in 5 days? I feel like you probably could, but yeah, I mean, that's there you go. That's yes, you're telling that's what I'm telling mine. It's adults only. So yeah, you guys. All right. Well, that's what we got. If you guys have more questions, feel free to ask them on this thread. I don't know. It sounds like maybe that it didn't post on our actual King of the Deep page. I'm not sure why it didn't do that when it's done that every other time. So we'll make sure we share it to the page. And if you guys have questions, you can come on there and comment, or like I said, you can go and ask John directly. He's got an email, a phone number, everything. You can use the link to schedule a call with him. I just put the link here in the comments on all the platforms that we've got this shared out on. So you guys can go in and schedule a call with him to get any of your questions answered. This is not like a sales tactic to pressure you, but we did only reserve so many of each cabin type that are locked in on that price. That doesn't mean you won't be able to make it on the trip, but in order to get that pricing that we've already guaranteed and secured, you do need to go ahead and make your deposit on that. So that way you've got that, because when we do run out, we can get more, but it's just going to be whatever the rate is at that time, which may be more. It's kind of like airplanes, like the rates change. So.
And if I can also, if you're on that webpage and the button that is I'm ready to book, which is a questionnaire that's going to give me about 95% of the information I need to set your cabin reservations. After I've got that, I'll still arrange a phone call with you just to make sure any questions are answered and I understand everything correctly. And then what happens is I'm going to go, I'm going to book your cabin, and I'm going to then send you a copy of that just has all the details of everything included, what the pricing is, everything. If that meets what you're looking for and you're good with that, then we move on to put the deposit on it. So you're not putting a deposit down until you've seen your confirmation and you know exactly what the pricing is and everything included. Then we'll put the deposit down with it from there.
Yep. Yep. So yeah, you guys, and if like I said, if there's anything you want to book that is outside of those 3 categories, because they have down to the single solo traveler rooms, down to, then they've got suites,
up
larger
to the
suites,
butler category.
up to the butler category. They've got, man, you guys, I was looking at the cruise rooms. There was one, I think it was like $6,000 a person. So it's definitely not one I'm going to be going on, but they had one that had like a hot tub in the room. And so they've got all kinds of categories. They have some rooms that are called like the Haven rooms, where they have their own restaurant, their own courtyard, their own swimming pool. So, you could do something like that if you wanted. It's really the sky's the limit. But just make sure you book it through John so that we're all sort of like attached in this one group. And then that way, all the extra activities and things that we get to do that you're on the list for all those, included on all those. And then I will start a Facebook group. That way, as people book this cruise, we can kind of have a central place to sort of keep everybody connected and keep you updated about what we're continuing to plan and do for the trip and everything. And John's going with us. So if anything, if we've got any issues while we are aboard or anything, then we'll do that. Oh, another thing for you to know that we didn't talk about is that you do not have to have a passport to go on this cruise. So I recommend getting one. If you don't have one, go ahead and apply for it right now and get it, because it's great to have one for this and many other reasons. But you don't have to have one. So if you don't have one, or you run out of time to get one, or for whatever reason you're against getting one or whatever, it's not required. You on a closed loop cruise, at least for the United States and comes back to the United States, you do not have to have one. The reason that I recommend it is because, like, let's say, God forbid, you went out in the Dominican Republic and they say to leave your passport and your room safe, and then you go out on one of the ports, and for whatever reason, I don't know, you decide to take off on your own or whatever, you don't make it back, you don't get back on the ship, they can pull your passport out, and then it's on you to get home. So if you have a passport, that makes it a whole lot easier to get home, because you're obviously trying to get back into the country without a passport, but just not required. You just have to have a driver's license and a birth certificate. I think is probably that's
an official
standard.
An official birth certificate from whatever state, and you're good to go. But as Katie said, if something happened, you cannot fly back into the United States without a passport. That's the one catch, is if something happens, you're going to have to deal with the consulate and get a passport before you could fly back to the country.
That's right. Which is just definitely a pain that you don't want to have to deal with. So, because that's going to be a process. And then, of course, you've got to incur all those fees of getting that taken care of and all your situation while you're getting that taken care of. So, but that's what we have for you guys. I want to make sure that you knew that even if you don't have a passport, you can still do this. If you do have a passport, check the date and make sure it's not expiring anytime soon. We had 2 issues on this cruise we just went on. We went on with some family and some friends, and one of our issues was at the front end of the trip, and one was on the back end. So on the front end of the trip, everybody was able to get on except for one family member. They were actually born in Puerto Rico, and their birth certificate from Puerto Rico that they had, when they tried to get on, they were told that their birth certificate had expired. And I didn't even know that was a thing, that your birth certificate could expire. But apparently Puerto Rico has experienced some sort of fraud with their birth certificates. And so they reissued new birth certificates to everyone who was ever born there. but that this family member did not have a new birth certificate. So this is at like 12:30 when we're boarding the ship. And thankfully, an hour away in Orlando, there was basically like a Puerto Rican embassy or something sort of like that. So they were able to drive there. And it was like gangway up at 2:30, and it's like 12:15, 12:30. They said, well, if you hurry, you can go to Orlando and get them to give you a birth certificate right now and come back and get on the ship. And thankfully he was able to make it. I mean, he drove there and drove back and got on the ship at like 2:45, and they let him on and everything. So that happened. And then on the way back through, we had a person with our group that has a passport, but I guess his passport was expiring. I don't even think it was expired, but it was expiring soon.
Normally it's 6 months. They want you to have depending on the country, they require your passport to be valid for 6 months after you get back.
Yeah. So he had to, when he came back through, Border Patrol detained him coming back through because his passport was set to expire like sometime in the near future. And he had to prove that like he had already I guess applied to have it renewed. He just didn't have it yet. And then once he was able to show them that, they let him through, no problem. But it was just, anyway, so they don't play about that kind of stuff. So you just need to make sure that you have all your documents ready. So you either need an official original certified from the county you were born in birth certificate with a photo ID with a driver's license, or you need to get an actual passport. We recommend that strongly. So,
and we'll for everybody that's booked as we get closer, one of the services kind of coming through the agency is making sure everybody knows all the details of anything they need, answering questions concerning all of that. Single parents taking children, any of that, we'll make sure all the correct information is provided.
Perfect. Scarlett, what did you say? You think Redneck Mud Park can we buy one and then are you talking about what? Buy a cruise? What are you talking about? Sorry, I was deep into my passport discussion. I missed what you said. But yeah, you guys, so that's what we have. All right. She said, what is the best package, A or B, with the balcony, the amenities? I'm on your website. Scarlett, why don't you schedule a call with John to really go through it?
It depends on if you're a drinker or a non-drinker. But you schedule a call or just pick up the phone. I'm available for a call pretty much anytime as well. The best bang for your buck if you drink is package A.
Got it. Okay. She says, get a cruise and give it away to someone. That would be really, really cool. That would be epic. Like that would be the biggest thing. Steve, Scarlett said, what about RYC buying a cruise and giving it away?
That would be great.
That would be crazy. That'd be insane. It'd be huge, Scarlett. Let's talk about that. That'd be really cool.
Yeah.
All right, you guys, that's what we got for you tonight. Sorry it's been such a long one. I'm sorry to keep you so long, John. Thank you for so nicely coming on here and kind of going through all the nuts and bolts of it with me. And hopefully we can get some people coming with us and have a really good time.
It's going to be fun.
It is. All right, you guys. Thank you, John. I will talk to you soon. Thank you for joining us. And for everybody else, thank you guys tonight. I'm sorry it did run so long. We're going to update the website with I think it's already up there with those couple of changes that we had. I'll make a post about that. And then if you guys are interested in the cruise, make sure you book a call with John or go ahead and click ready to book now. It's only $100 per person to reserve your spot. You don't have to pay the balance until the second week of July. And then you guys are all set. So we will talk to you guys soon. We'll have more information coming out. We got a new event that we're adding. It's not going to be a series event, but we have another event that we're adding in a state that we haven't been to before. So we got to get that contract signed here in the next couple of days. And we'll get that information out for you guys soon. But until we talk to you again, I hope you guys all have a good night and keep watching and paying attention to everything we got coming out, because we've got some cool stuff we're releasing over the next week. Have a good night, y'all.